My next story is Michael Servetus. You may have heard the name before. I mentioned it earlier in the story. Anybody know Michael Servetus? All right. Any physicians in the room? Any physicians? None of you. Okay, fair enough. We'll get to that in a second. So if you've heard of his name before, it's for a variety of different reasons, because he is famous for many of his writings. He was a Spaniard. He was living during the Reformation. As a well-educated and devout young man, he worked for a very brief time in the court of Emperor Charles V, and he got to meet the Pope. That meeting didn't go well. The massive display of wealth and arrogance inspired Servetus to publish a series of books condemning the papacy on the one hand and the, quote, errors of the Trinity on the other. When the Spanish Inquisition arrived to have him explain, Servetus fled to France and spent the next 20 years under a series of assumed names. But while he was there, he became a medical doctor and published several books on medicine, including a revolutionary discussion of the circulation of the blood within the human body. But being himself, he irritated his scholarly colleagues so greatly that he had to become a competent duelist. Yeah, can you imagine? Anyway, his inability to help himself came to a head with the publication of a book called The Restoration of Christianity. It's a masterclass argument against the Holy Trinity specifically, but Calvinism particularly. For reasons unknown to me or to anyone with a shred of common sense, Servetus sent an early draft of this book to John Calvin. You might say Calvin was not amused. He actually was so not amused, he tricked Servetus into visiting, had him arrested, and then turned him over to the Inquisition, where he was burned over a pile of his own books. It's not cool, but his execution in 1553 became an international scandal and also made his subversive books and ideas quite popular.